Human rights groups report dozens of civilian casualties from excessive use of force. Officially, Israel denies this, but those who took part say the reality is different. RT's Paula Sleer has more.
Nariman captured on camera the shots that would kill her brother. 2 bullets in his stomach and leg.
When I came, people were shouting, "He got shot with a live bullet." I didn't know who got shot. They were shouting, "Rushdie, Rushdie." I didn't know what to do. I went down the hill while the soldiers were firing, and I started shouting, "Press, press." The soldiers shouted, "Do not come down, we will shoot you." I opened my camera and I decided that I'm going there even if I die.
Nariman's brother Rushdie hadn't even been part of the stone throwing. Eyewitnesses say the soldiers fired tear gas and live bullets even before the children started throwing rocks at them. Rushdie wasn't part of it. He went later to help evacuate the injured.
I wanted to throw the camera down and hold my brother in my arms, but I kept filming. My brother's face was covered in blood. My uncle came and the soldier said, "Do not worry, it's his leg. He's alive." From my experience, if they wanted to help, they would have called the ambulance from the closest settlement, but they wanted him to bleed. I told them you should give him first aid, and they said it is not our problem, he could die.
And 2 days later, Rushdie died. The bullet that killed him was fired from 10 meters away. He was unarmed.
If you follow the official rules, it would be almost impossible for soldiers to use ammunition in these situations. But we've all been there, we've all done that. When soldiers face Palestinians on the field, the orders and missions we are getting are very far away from what the army claims officially.
The law says soldiers can only use live ammunition when their life is in clear danger. Tear gas and rubber bullets are allowed, but only for dispersing crowds from a distance and when not fired directly on protesters. But the Israeli Center for Human Rights, B'Tselem, has found that in total Israeli forces have killed 56 rock-throwing Palestinians since 2005. 6 were killed by rubber-coated metal bullets and 2 by tear gas canisters. 48 were killed by live ammunition.
Our observations show a wide and systemic culture of the misuse of crowd control weapons by the Israeli security forces in the West Bank. This means that the army violates its own open fire regulations regarding the use of rubber bullets, tear gas. It's quite a well-known practice, and the army denies that it exists.
But in a written reply to our request for an interview, the IDF said that the B'Tselem report presents a biased narrative, relying primarily on incidents that are too old or still under investigation by the military police. The IDF went on to say that the IDF does everything in its power to ensure that the use of riot dispersal means is done in accordance with the rules of engagement.
We're talking about 500, 600, 1,000 tear gas canisters a day are being shot on these protests. It's way beyond our imagination. We're talking about clouds of tear gas on a village.
Palestinian anger and defiance, an act of despair in the face of Israeli military might. Rushdie's niece, 13-year-old Ahad Tamimi, faces the soldiers after they arrested her brother, imprisoned her father, and killed her cousin. 3 months after this confrontation, her beloved uncle Rushdie would die. Paula Sleer, RT, Tel Aviv.